to carry around the the totes of medals that you have. I don't.
I mean, they get heavy. It's a shame. It gets boring when you keep winning. First place, second place, third place. Every once in a while, fourth place, but normally, third and second. A lot of times.
A lot.
Yeah. My family stopped showing up, but
right.
I wish her all the luck. She's in a double Dutch tournament this weekend, and go for it, baby.
Go for it.
New generation.
That's it, man. I mean, yeah. Clap it up. I don't know what's happening here. We have a Jay had
What did Jay have?
Well, Jay was off last week from his torn rotator cuff incident.
From cornhole.
Yeah, from cornhole. And he's back with a text. He sent a text saying he had an emotional or a roller coaster of a story. How did you phrase it?
I did. A traumatic story.
A traumatic story.
Yeah.
Well,
that sounds legit.
I mean, what
it was.
I mean, what could it be?
You want to guess?
Yeah, go ahead. Take a guess.
All right. You want to go first, or should I go first?
I would say it has something to do with a flat tire.
Okay. All right.
That he didn't know what to do.
You don't think Jay Dowd changed it?
It's just my guess.
With hair like
your
that.
Your turn.
With hair like that guy's changed some tires.
Okay, your turn.
I think. Okay, here's what I think. I think this is a long one, but I think you were at your. Holy shit!
It's windy out
there.
It
is windy out. I think you left your camera face down, your phone, recording, and you accidentally stepped over it and saw your own butthole. I don't.
That's very awesome. Very.
That's
good.
traumatic.
Right.
What happened?
That was very close.
Neither one of them.
No. So Friday night, I was at the camper, and going from the camper down to the screen porch, there's about 3 steps.
Okay.
So I'm going down. It rained for like 2 days straight, so it was wet. Go down the steps, I slipped and fell.
Oh no.
Totally landed on my back. Everybody was inside. They heard me and came running outside. And they were like, "Oh, you're all right." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." So I kind of just sat there for a minute and, was embarrassed, and fucking sore from falling. Right. So all of a sudden I come to and the kids are crying, standing around me crying.
Wait.
And
okay.
Jen is smacking me in the face,
No.
going, "Come on. Yeah, completely like I slipped, I fell, and then I kind of sat up for a minute, and then her description to me was my whole body went limp, my eyes rolled in the back of my head, and I started snoring.
No.
Yeah, like out cold, and the kids saw me like that, and like she's holding me, I guess, like smacking me in the face, and I'm all like. Because I'm just out. And literally, like, I remember none of it. I remember slipping, falling, and sitting there for a minute. And then I, like, come to, and everybody's like, "Oh!" Like, the kids are just losing their mind. And she's, like, standing above me. And she's like, "You're all right. You're all right. You're all right." No. And I'm like, "What the hell happened?" And she's like, "You were out cold."
So you knocked yourself out?
Yeah.
Oh, Jay.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was just like weird, and I sat there for a minute, and she's like, "You all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like I need to go outside and get some," because I have no idea. Like I remember sitting there, and then it was like I lost 30 seconds of my life, or however long that it was.
Oh man.
Yeah. It was just the weirdest thing. Like I've never been.
What happened? Did you have
out.
like any? Were you? I've always heard that when you get knocked out or you fall. You get put to sleep, you have like some crazy dream.
Right.
Did you have any?
No, I heard noises.
Right.
And like I remember like bright like neon blue and pink. You know, it was almost like something was flashing.
Did you have that?
Yeah, and it was like a sound effect, and it sounded like it was going. And then all of a sudden, like I opened my eyes, and it was Jen
Smacking
right
the shit out of you.
yeah, she was.
Wake up, Jen.
I'm enjoying this.
It was the craziest thing, like I ever. And
So-
all the times wrestling,
Never.
like never.
Well, that was my
never
next
happened.
question. Did you naturally tuck your chin and like, you know,
I didn't know it was happening.
Yeah, because he was trained that way.
you were trained?
You were
that way.
trained,
It
yeah.
all happened so fast. I didn't have time. I hit really hard though, and that's the thing. It's like it always feels like, it's like when you go down the stairs, you kind of like at least you get momentum and you
Yeah.
roll. But it's like anytime you slip going down steps and it's like 3 stairs, it always seems like that happens, and that hurts so much worse because like I just skid. It's like
Oh yeah.
and then you're
Were you
done.
so? Were you indoors or outdoors?
I was going from the camper going out there. So it was like the minute I hit,
Yeah.
I just went whoosh, and I just and then like landed perfectly, sprawled out over 3, and like my back just hit square, and I just like laid there for a minute. I was like, oh, and then I just sat up, pulling the Peter Griffin, Daddy. Well, I was embarrassed because everybody came running after that,
Yeah. So when you hit initially, you don't remember hitting?
No, I remember hitting.
All right. So you hit, and then
I
did you
hit.
sit up,
Yeah. So
and then
I
you
hit,
were out?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Right. So it wasn't like I hit and then I was out. Like
Oh.
I slipped, hit, and then everybody came running outside and they're all right. And I'm like, I'm fine, because it was like I was embarrassed, And then I was just sitting there trying to get my thoughts back together.
I always
And
like
when
in
I
the
did, it was
movies when
out.
somebody slips and there's a like initial. I hope you made that noise when you went down.
I don't know. I probably did. A couple shit noises in
Yeah.
between.
Like Mr. Wilson and Dennis the Menace. Ding ding ding. His feet kicking up.
The Fred Flintstone.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
At least
amazing.
in wrestling, we knew it was coming.
I know.
When you slip like that, you have no idea.
Mm.
You just slipped and I just went up in the air.
It's hysterical, man. I
Yeah.
mean, that's traumatic for sure.
Right. Have you ever been
Knocked out?
cold?
I fell through a bunk bed one
knocked out.
time.
I don't think I ever have.
No? You never,
No.
not from like a.
Like hitting your head or
I fell through a bunk bed when I was 10.
Okay.
I don't think I was knocked out, but there's like a. I remember hitting, and I remember. I think my sister or my mom with a towel over my face, but I don't know. I always said I went out, like got knocked out, but
Right.
I don't know. Hearing that, I think I would have more memories of the coming to part of it, if I was out.
right.
Yeah, it'd be something.
No, it was just so weird. I couldn't even explain it because it's like you literally don't remember. You remember one moment and then you remember the next.
Right.
Of waking up.
What could have made it worse if you shit your pants? Like, you know what I mean? Like, say you had the bubble guts and that happened. That would have been terrible.
You wake up, you don't remember. You got cramp in your
no.
pants.
I gotta go to bed. I gotta go.
Imagine coming to after you would shit your pants, right? And you still, everybody knows you shit your pants, but you still try to play it off like you didn't.
Oh, I really gotta go, man. What's this?
You got that wide waddle, when you're going down.
Yeah, all right, so guys, I'll see you later. Catch you later.
Yeah. My mom called real quick. I got to run home.
It's really squishy, huh, bro? Yeah. I gotta go. I'll see you later.
There was a guy on Main Street. So, when was the last time it rained? Like, yesterday did it rain? No, the day before.
Rain today.
Well, it rained today.
Right.
But there was, the last time it rained in Newark here.
Friday, probably.
Yeah, all right, so maybe it was Friday.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, I was working. In Newark, it's like longboards are the thing, bro. Longboards are the Vespas, the motor scooters.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? Those little Italian.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
So they're big here. So it's either you have a longboard or you have one of those scooters that you're whipping around with thong flip-flops on.
All right.
That's dangerous.
It is
A lot of
dangerous.
big toe injuries in Newark. So this kid, 2 kids come longboarding down South Chapel Street.
Sweet boy, bro.
Yeah. One guy has got it together. Like, he's got the look. He's got the look down for right. The other guy's like clearly a friend who never been on a skateboard in his life.
I've got an extra one, bro, if you want to try it.
And he must have wiped out or something at some point throughout the night because he comes skating by me. His buddy's all cool. And the back of him's all like, it's all mudded up. Poor kid.
Getting the hang of it now.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with walking. Nothing wrong with walking.
No. I had another Woody text about his week too, right?
Yeah.
About we have the election coming up and tensions are very high for everybody.
Sure.
Families are at war.
Families have been divided in history, Josh, because of war and
It's
difference
true.
in opinion.
That's true.
So
That's true.
it's what it is. Sometimes you have to say goodbye.
So what happened? I mean,
And then fight on the other side.
brother against brother.
Father against daughter.
That's right. That's right.
Nothing. It's in my daughter's eyes. Anyone who is for Donald Trump is a absolute racist,
Right.
and it's completely wrong. And there is no room for a conversation. It's set in stone. It is what it is.
Right.
I think she's a firm believer that anyone that flies the American flag in front of their house is probably a racist too. I mean, I think that she believes this. I'm not sure what happened. But, my sarcasm and my newly discovered emojis where I can actually find like black hands and stuff. I try to convey my thoughts, with the, African American double high five
Right.
and the OK song. So, but Texas Roadhouse, you're 18 now. You going to vote? Of course I'm going to vote. It's my duty. I'm like, good. That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't even care who she's voting for. I know who she is. I know her. I know who she's voting for. I know who she's not voting for. I know that much.
Right.
That wasn't even a conversation, but like, this is my fault. You know what I mean? I'm just like, it's like, well, I hope you're going to make America great again. And that really went sour.
Right.
Just
In public, right? You
we were at a restaurant.
Was this before or after you got food?
Well, no, it was. They had just finished eating.
Okay.
Oh, good.
I got a little
It
bit
was
late.
towards the tail end of the meal.
I got there a little bit late. When I got there, they had already ordered appetizer and they were having fun. But so it got a little heated. It was like about the racism stuff. It was like, in my opinion, it's just it's really naive. It's silly. He's only racist up until 4 years ago. Before that, everybody loved his ass. You know what I mean? Like, Like, Oprah would have him on 3 times a year. You know what I mean? It was like,
Right.
Stop it.
It was in movies. I mean,
Right.
yeah.
Stop it. Yeah, he wasn't racist 3 years ago. He just started becoming. Stop it. So she eventually got up and just walked out of the restaurant, But before she did, I was like, so she's a Democrat. I'm really excited about the election.
Yeah.
And this is my little story. There's millions and millions of families and friends out there who are really in a divided situation. And I was like, you know what? You're wrong, man. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. Like it's going to come out to where people are going to vote, make it happen. So I say to her, I was like, you going to buy dinner tonight? No. I was like, you're right. Let the Republican get it. I'll buy dinner. Don't worry about it. I got you. Don't worry about it.
Always looking for a handout.
Yeah, exactly. So it was, go back and forth on text. The emojis come. It's like, I give the Trump thumbs up, and she gives the Steve Carell roll of the eyes, and
Right.
it's like, You could use this for the next 3 months. Not to call, text me. Blah, blah. I hope we win. Just trying to make America great again. Your racism is tearing this family apart. All those texts. Like a child that I am.
Right. Sure.
But, well. We'll see what happens.
I love it. That's great.
We'll see what happens.
That's great.
So,
well,
families have been divided. Civil War, brother against brother.
It's getting there again. It sucks, man. It sucks. And listen, no offense to any 18-year-olds out there.
Okay.
Listen, but what the fuck do you know? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck do you know?
It's true.
Sit down and shut up.
Right.
Enjoy your meal.
That's a true statement.
I got my 12-year-old upstairs watches TikTok.
It's all her news.
She's got an opinion on politics.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
Go to your room.
Yeah, but it's like, this is what I've been told and what everyone else agrees with. It's a real shame. Social media is really a brainwashing tool, and it's something.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how much the media can be.
Right.
I watched. I used to love CNN if there was a hurricane or because that's the network that stands in the deepest part of the water to tell you how bad the hurricane is, even if 4 feet away from where they're standing, it's ankle deep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it and so I love watching. They always it's like pro wrestling. It's
Right.
always big and elaborate and crazy storylines and Wolf Blitzer tonight.
Right.
Pitching you that
It was
storyline.
Pandalarian.
This just in, Trump's a racist.
Yeah.
So, but they're really terrible, man. They're bad. It's brainwashing from the top down, all the way to the TikToks. Where
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, even like, but it's literally in their hand,
right,
in our hand. I'm sure that
we're just as guilty.
Yeah, I am. Which is why we can talk about it, because you look at it and it's like, this is where I get my news, and I see something I don't like. It's like, that's not true.
Well, it's almost become like a cult for certain
Yeah.
people. Where Don Lemon's on CNN saying, and it's not true. It can't be true. He's saying it on TV to maybe get other people to do what he's saying. He says I grew up in a red state, and there's family members that I have that I had to cut off.
Right.
It's like, what do you mean you had to cut them off?
Yeah.
Don?
Do you stop taking their call?
Yeah. But it's said in a way that now somebody's watching that they think it's okay for them to do because Don Lemon did it.
Right.
Douche.
He is a douche.
He is a douche.
I was watching a video today on MSNBC, and it was...
Why are you watching that channel?
Well, no, it was just I don't watch the channel.
Sit down.
It was just a video that I saw, and it was the anchor guy reviewing or interviewing a Democrat, and the Democrat was talking about the fact that he's starting to see Republican views just based on what's happened over the past few months with the pandemic and Congress not being able to help people. So, and the anchor's a black guy, and the guy he's interviewing, and the guy he's interviewing is a black guy. So when he's going through and he's telling him, and he goes, he was like, well, I am aligning myself with President Trump. I like his policies. I like his values. And then he's just like, oh, is the Trump campaign paying you to say that? And he's like, well, why would you ask me that? And he was getting in his grill asking him because it was a black guy, and he was a Democrat, and he's crossing over.
Oh, right.
So they're asking him, oh, did they
Yeah.
line your pockets? And they were like, okay, well, every time you have a Democrat on here, and if they have different point of views, do you ask them if their pockets are getting
Right.
lined? And he tore this guy down.
Yeah.
And it was just funny because it's like you can't pull the race card when they're both going at each other.
And again, it starts at that level.
Right.
It starts where the whole world can see. It's like, why would you? What a thing to accuse somebody of.
Right.
Like that's so. It's so willy nilly now to just. I mean, that's a crazy character assassination move to make on somebody. Live on TV.
Right.
Well,
That's
it's
crazy.
Easy. It's easy.
What a world it is. It is.
It's easy. It's easy to make the label and be like, so you are. That's what it is.
Well, and if we joked about it a few weeks back, but it's like getting to the point where if you're on one side, there's no negotiating with the other side, like you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's getting to that point where people aren't even hearing somebody else out anymore. It's
They're
it's
dead
almost
set.
scary, man.
Well, they're
you
dead
know?
set, and
Well-
in their point of view, you know what I mean. And you don't,
Yeah.
you block out any other noise that doesn't align with you.
Tell you what, it comes from both sides, man. Where I have an uncle that you know, like I think like him in a sense where it's like I think that people that are on the opposite side that I'm on, there are some crazy people, but they're saying the same thing about people on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
there's no shared reality anymore. I heard that the other day and I was like, God damn, if that's not the truest thing
That's
I've
true.
ever heard.
That's well said.
Because what I'm seeing on my news feed and what you're saying is two completely different things.
Right.
And we could be convinced that the other one is just the biggest piece of shit without even really knowing the person. And that's what's scary. And the fact that DC, the people in DC, the reds and the blues there is no negotiating.
Well, you've seen that,
Right.
I mean, unemployment benefits have run out.
Right.
Eviction, whatever that's called, where you're
Right.
able to rent and not get kicked out. You know what I mean? Like all that expired, and these people have literally been negotiating since the summertime,
Well,
and everybody's taking a hard line.
Think
You know
about
what
how
I mean?
much of an asshole you have to be, the where your job is based on getting elected.
Right.
Right. And this year, it's renewal time for these people, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, it's time for a new contract. How dare you be so ballsy
Right.
to still say, fuck you? We're not doing it. How ballsy do you got to be? How good at your job do you think you are?
Or
You throw every
or
motherfucker out of there,
how
man.
paid off
Right.
have you made your life to where you don't even have to run anymore?
Well, it's all about corporate interests
that's what I
anyway,
mean.
right?
It's
You're
like-
making
that's-
more money
that's
on the
what-
side
that's
than
it.
you're making in the office.
These people don't even run for campaign anymore.
I know.
This is why the whole career politicians, these term limits need to go into effect
Yeah.
at some point. This way you get new blood on a daily. 4 years. The president can only last for 4 years.
8.
Well, but
the
two-term,
re-election, but 2 terms. That's it.
Right.
Right.
Because we always want new thoughts, new ideas, and all that.
Right.
Congress should be the exact same way.
So Congress
Joe
is
Biden's
no term
been
limits, right?
There's no term limit.
Joe Biden has literally been in Congress as a career politician for 47 years.
It's amazing, isn't
It
it?
is amazing, and there's people who are older than him.
Well,
I mean, there's people in Congress who were there when
Right. They die in
when
Congress.
fucking Kennedy, like when Kennedy was shot, there's people still in Congress in their seats. It's crazy.
yeah, this Feinstein lady.
Yeah,
Feinstein,
yeah. I mean, so it's like there has to be some sort of term. How do you get new ideas with the same old sacred cows?
Right.
You have to have new ideas and be more.
Well, what
It
happens?
needs to happen.
What happens too is those people that have been in there for extended periods of time, they put those same people on like heading up committees,
Right.
You know what I mean, and different task forces or whatever. And it's like, how are you going to have somebody like that head up a committee when they've been in the same? They're not going to.
so
it's like WVUD all over again. We're going to continue to play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, there's a do you guys have Amazon Video?
Yeah.
There's a documentary on there. It's called it's plot against the president, and that's exactly what they try to paint in their perspective of how the impeachment went down in this video, where they said there's a lot of people in Washington that haven't been accountable for a long time, and when Donald Trump got elected, or when Michael Flynn was involved, there were people that were going to be held accountable, and that's a no-go.
Right.
And
Right.
so
it was all out sabotage.
yeah,
towards Michael
but
Flynn.
it
and-
says a lot about these career
Yeah.
politicians that, God damn, if
It-
there's not a
it's
track
literally
record.
the swamp.
Well,
It's
Right.
when he
Yeah.
calls it a swamp, it's
No.
what it is.
Well, there's we joked last week about the debates being 2 minutes to respond. We're talking about the most important job in the world. in being president. And you got 90 minutes to discuss it. And these fucking ballsy bastards decided to say, you know what? We're going to scrap one of them. What? The fuck? How is that possible?
It's not my fault. The fucking My Pillow guy got the fucking. he's got the 905 spot. He's got the 910 spot.
Right.
He paid big money for this.
Right. But listen, we can come on here and stream for 2 hours, 3 hours, but we can't. We gotta condense it down to give you 2 minutes for an answer to be the president. I can't believe for a second that the Eagles can play on a Sunday and then turn around and play a short week on a Thursday, but these guys can't debate. They couldn't have squeezed in a couple more debates before the election.
Right.
That's not right, man. It's just not.
Well, the one got canceled.
Well, but what I'm saying is they
There should be
still
more
ended
on-
up in person doing town halls.
Right.
Why couldn't they?
Yeah, right.
Like, give me a fucking
It
break.
doesn't make any sense. It's
Yeah.
like these two couldn't meet, but they can sit in a room by themselves at a town hall with like 40 people.
Right.
It's
Right.
like, well, what about the audience is sitting on the stage? Like, how come Joe Biden could be sitting there or
Well, and
Donald
the
Trump
spin
couldn't be
is
sitting there?
the spin is Donald Trump canceled. He refused to do it in
Right.
person. It's like,
It's-
no, he didn't. He
no.
still did. He wanted.
Right.
It's the spin. I can't deal with the spin.
Right.
If we were getting honest, but I think they realized they're like CNN, MSNBC. They're all owned by the same person.
Right.
And I think there was a time where they tried to give you at least, they might have been partial to something, to one side, but they had to be at least honest because the other side was coming there to get news. So like viewership and ratings. Now I think they just said, fuck them, we already lost them.
Right.
Let's just go full-blown propaganda. It's
I mean,
crazy. It's
makes
really,
sense.
Yeah,
Makes sense. I mean, this far in the game,
yeah.
just
Might as well, I guess.
all out.
Yeah.
Let's give it to them. Even feed them the bullshit. It's
Yeah.
fine. Give it to them.
Well, I mean, I'm excited for Tuesday. We're going to do an election show here where, if nothing else, it's going to be lighthearted. It's going to be fun. We have
Yes.
some video ideas planned. We're going to hopefully be streaming. If you're listening to this.
Are you actually streaming now?
I tried to stream. It's not going through. So what we'll do is it's recording. So we'll post the video.
The actual video is recording.
Yeah, it's recording a video. It
Okay.
says it's streaming, but it's not for whatever reason.
Okay.
Unless maybe I had it set up on Twitch a while back. It might even be streaming there. But regardless, we have video.
Okay.
We have a cool video here that we will post to our Facebook. Check out Uncle Wood Dog's
Sounds like a
Guns.
gun show. You guys know where the gym is?
So that's our Facebook page, Crash and Burn Show. Check it out. And
Looks good, doesn't it?
tune in on Tuesday night. Hopefully we'll be live. It looks, I mean, listen, this is just a basement, and I'm telling you we can run a TV show right out of here with this whole setup. Anyway.
Looks good.
Oh, I guess we already talked about Reed being out, right?
Where's she at?
He's
Double Dutch.
All right.
This just in.
All
Reed finished in second place. The Double Dutch tournament.
right. Well,
Hopefully we'll have footage next week. We have a team there with cameras, and I'm sure we can get some footage for next week.
yeah. So look out for that.
I'll make sure I get footage for next week. For Reed's Double Dutch competition.
All right.
It's worth seeing, don't you think?
Yeah. All right. That's Crash and Burn Show. We'll see you Tuesday. Check us out
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Election day.
Tuesday night. What time we want to get started? Jay can't be here till 7:30.
Yep.
What time you thinking?
9 o'clock,
Start at 9.
live at 9.
Here's what I'm thinking. We'll weigh in on it now on air.
Okay.
I'm thinking we get a printout of the Electoral College votes,
Okay.
how much each state, gives up in their, and we'll go through.
So the goal was 270.
Right.
is what we need.
Right. So we need 270, but
And
we
when I
need
say
to know.
we, I mean America.
So we'll get that going like a pre-Sunday football game show where we go around and we look at the states and we'll see, who's going to win and what the final score will be. We're not even going to know Tuesday night, I guess, right? Like how much do you know about this?
Probably not.
But
I would be real surprised. Unless it's like,
what's the process? If
so, what they'll do is they close elections polling places at like 8:00,
right,
and then the tallies really start to roll in, and then there's a lot of analytics, a lot of commentary back and forth, and you'll start to see each state has projected, Republican or each state,
right.
And then that's how it starts to happen. Then it's a running count on the numbers that they need to get.
Right.
Unfortunately, the mail-in ballots, things that are happening, there's a chance that, like certain states, actually the cutoff date for the mailing date cannot be any later than the 3rd. So when they receive it, to make it eligible for vote, it needs to be on the 3rd. So a person can literally not even mail their ballot until tomorrow.
Right.
Oh, sorry, the 3rd.
Right.
Tuesday.
That's amazing.
And they can get it 5 days later, and the vote will be counted. Because as long as the postage is November 3rd, they cast their vote technically. So we're probably going to look at, you're probably going to look at, not even know any real details, I would say, until Thursday or Friday.
That's if we're lucky too, because
That's if we're lucky.
But also,
Pennsylvania
though,
just
too,
changed.
Yeah, and Pennsylvania did change
Right.
because they actually extended that date, that 3rd date,
Right.
out even farther.
Right.
So they said that people can mail them. I think it was like 3 days after the election date. Right?
I'm not happy with this. I think it's a real election manipulation. I think it's really easy to be to see fraud, because it's like we never had this issue before. People could go out and vote, and absentee ballots are one thing. People can go to Walmart or go to dinner and go to the grocery store. They can all do this. It's really silly.
Voting should happen in person. There's no reason it can't.
But unless you're abroad.
You can go to Walmart in
Well,
person.
but that's the way it's always
you're-
been.
Exactly,
Yeah, I mean,
exactly. There's the reason, and there's other reasons, And
And when you say abroad, you mean not like a dumb woman, right?
no, I mean, no,
Like, right. I just want to
like
clarify for the
overseas,
cancel culture out there. Right.
Army and Navy, people who are overseas. I mean, that's part of it, but I think it's crazy.
It's a terrible idea.
It's going to really turn this country upside down either way, and it's. I think we have a lot of good shows that are going to follow.
We're on the road to 2 presidents, like you said. I mean,
All right.
yeah. I mean,
Right.
It all the writing is on the
Shame that
wall. All the writing is on the wall. We laid this groundwork out 4 years ago when the "Not My President" tweet started. We want to put our conspiracy hats on.
Yeah.
Listen, we've been primed for this.
Right.
2 presidents are coming, baby.
It's a shame that mine and my daughter's last dinner was at the Texas Roadhouse because if there is a line drawn in the sand,
Right.
that's it.
That's it, for sure.
I'll see you later.
Well,
Not my president. I mean, I'll take one. I mean, I'll take whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'm only kidding, but
See, it can get to
I
the
see
point
that happening though.
I do too.
It can get to the point though to where Tuesday or Wednesday, because if you think about it and you go through counting the electoral votes, I mean, if you clinch at a certain point, at any point, it's not going to matter if all the states are
Yeah, but
finished
see, then
or
that's
not. Though.
you open yourself for a lawsuit though when states start saying they didn't get their votes counted.
It's really, it's really
Well, right, but if like you go through and you say Trump or whatever, if he already captures a certain amount of electoral votes, it's not going to matter. You know
See,
what
but
I mean?
don't
If
even
you
understand
win,
the breakdown of that. What determines the vote?
Well,
Come on, Daddy, give it to us.
well, and so
Use some more
it's the
activator.
electoral votes, but there's certain states that are key states, obviously, in winning. Pennsylvania,
Right.
Texas, Ohio, and
Michigan.
Okay. Well,
There's like a fourth one there, and that's why those guys have been
said
going
Michigan.
through. And
did you say Wisconsin?
I didn't say Wisconsin. But that's why they've been campaigning hard on those.
But what makes them? So is it just the number of votes they give?
I think it's people per area. So it's, you know what I mean? It's like North Dakota would have less electoral votes than, say, New York City, obviously,
Right.
because there's more people per capita.
Right.
So that's why it carries more.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this night, man. I really am. Like, this is so much
We need
drama.
270.
We need 270.
And we, as Americans, we are going to get it on the first night.
I hope so,
That's how I
man.
feel.
I hope we get an answer.
It's been a real solid majority is going to like really burst through the polls. It's gonna be like a jump like you would not even believe.
Let me ask you something. That was very Trump of you to deliver that way. It's
You know,
like,
there's
gonna be giving
50
your jobs to China.
58,000 people today in 3 different rallies total. It was like, who haven't even voted yet because they know they're going to the poll. 50.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just 3 little rallies. 58,000.
See, a
And,
lot of that.
and there's nobody at these other campaigns. You know, you can, and I mean, they're getting their votes, but I'm telling you, it's going to burst.
I
I
feel like a lot of that is
like a filled piece of candy
right
in your mouth that just
Like a fruit
erupts. You know what I mean?
like a handful of fruit gushers on a
Blueberry,
warm day.
all in your mouth. That's what's going to happen.
And
All
the
in your
kids that
mouth.
like to rub my leg in the pool.
I got hairy legs.
They're blonde in the sun.
Well, I'm very excited, very very excited for the drama of the night because I remember clearly in 2016 watching Wolf Blitzer and Jake Tapper almost cry.
Yeah.
when they had to Jake Tapper. It's like, I can't believe all of America's racist.
Yeah.
They couldn't.
Yeah.
They just couldn't believe it.
Can you believe that 85% of Americans are racist? Just because they voted for this guy. It's like, how terrible is that?
And they're not supposed to be on a side. They're not supposed to
No.
be Democratic.
They're not supposed to be.
It's like I know they had the confetti poppers and all this shit. You know,
Yeah, there's a whole box of them just waiting for this year.
it gives me so much
Because they never got
joy.
a chance to open them.
Pull out those Hillary party poppers. We'll
Yeah.
use those.
I see, and without getting too political and kind of keeping it, but I honestly can't see, and this is my reality, but I can't see a way that Joe Biden wins from all the stuff that you see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can't believe that he has 47 years of like track record there that you can go through and look at, and you would still vote for him. You know, like I
You
cannot
would even
believe
determine that he was a racist.
Right.
You know, but that's not a question. It's not out of the question.
There's so much there.
He
that,
actually signed a bill to put more black people away,
right.
in inner city people away at a high rate for very low possession,
crimes, yeah.
like very low possession with cocaine and marijuana, like very low, minimal possession, really small. Put them away for years just for having drugs. That was his crime bill in the 80s. And that really put a lot of African American and minorities in jail because, you know, everybody had a little bit of weed on them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And as soon as they got them, they locked them up. They threw them away for 2 years.
Yeah.
And Joe Biden signed that bill. It's like
It's
he's
his.
literally been putting
Yeah.
black people in jail for like 47 years.
It's his name. It was the Biden crime bill. I mean, that's what it was called.
Who built the cages, Joe?
It's like, no.
Well, let's just talk about what we're talking about.
It's so funny. It's so mind blowing that people are like,
I love that he
Nope.
lies about it. He'll lie about it.
yeah, I didn't do that.
It's like he still
swear to
lives in
God.
1950.
Like the whole damn fracking thing.
Yeah.
That is just funny. Like every time I hear it, he will outright be like, I never said I was
Swear
going
to
to
God.
ban frack. And then there's the video.
Post
Like,
it on your website.
Yeah,
Why would you tell him?
First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to ban fracking.
Day one of the campaign.
right. And it's not one, it's like a montage of,
Right.
I'm going to ban fracking.
It almost feels like they don't want to win. Honest to God, I feel like they do not want to win. There's no way they could have had 4 years to rig the system, and this is what they give you.
Right.
They give you this, and he's got the Junior Soprano thing going on where he's at a press conference going, I married a Philly girl. I'm wearing my Eagles jacket right now. And he's not wearing an Eagles
Delaware
jacket.
Blue
He's wearing a Delaware Blue Hedge jacket. And it's like, what the hell is happening?
Junior Soprano. It's nuts. He's out of his mind.
So it's fun. And Trump's got his issues, you know. We choose to ignore them because we're on the right side of history. But
Yeah, but doesn't he seem more human?
I think so.
I mean, isn't he like an uncle that's like, he's going to say something stupid?
Yeah.
But he is successful.
Listen, successful or not, the thing that seals the deal for me is the fact that it doesn't matter what's going on, what thing he's being criticized for. He's at the press conference. He's answering questions.
Right. He's not hiding.
He's never hid from a question.
Right.
Not one.
You know, and to a fault, you know, like there's some questions he should probably ignore. So to me, it's a big deal. Like that this whole thing where he's like, he's downplaying the virus, you know, that Bob Woodward tapes that came out. It's like, you guys never play sports. You never like, you know what I mean? Like
It's
when
strategy.
It's
Right.
strategy. That's
It's-
the first thing I would assume you learned
Right.
is that
Right.
this is just chess we're playing
Yeah,
here with
it's-
other world leaders.
And
with
no,
us.
it's the right thing to do. Besides
Sure.
getting online and be like, holy
Oh my
shit,
God.
you have no idea what's happening right now. I don't know what to do either. But I'll tell you what, close your windows and don't leave your house. Then tune back in 6 weeks. It's like, is that the message? No, that can't be the message.
Right.
You got to have people, you can't have unrest. The reason why they don't tell us that UFOs are real because people are going to go nuts.
They would panic.
Yeah, but no, it's like, come on. The media coverage is terrible. It's just so bad. It's so bad. And so biased.
Very biased. Very biased both ways. It's
It is
but
both
here's
ways.
the thing.
It is both
It
ways.
is both
Can
ways.
you I just keep thinking,
What?
like, can you imagine if, like, it really did go down like that? Like, if everything was so bad, you would see the president on the other end. It was like, listen, guys,
sweating.
I don't have a plan right now, but don't worry. All right, we're gonna put something together right now.
We got a
I
good
got
team.
people working on it in the back. Right? Don't freak out. All right,
we got a good
we need
team.
to keep our composure.
We got a good team.
So I think it's
Don't you feel better if someone's saying, listen,
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
well, he talked for 2 hours at these press
Trust me,
conferences.
we have the top people on it. Just go about your business. And we'll tell you what's going on as we find out. It's like the way they said that he like held it and he didn't want mass panic. It's like that's a strategy any person would take. He's not like Henry VIII, who just
Total anarchy.
just craziness.
Right.
I mean, history has taught us anything is to be patient.
Right. Well, I think when history is laid out about this era, there's
Right.
going to be some either they're going to rewrite it however they want, but
Well, they will.
if it's facts that go into this, the way the country handled this pandemic will be a positive note.
I think so.
Because big picture,
The way most countries handled it, most of them did everything they could,
right?
start to finish. I don't think anyone dropped the ball.
Well,
Besides,
no. I'm saying more along the lines of like with the Trump criticism and this
Okay.
this era, like when our kids grow up and they're like, holy, 2020, the pandemic that killed 200,000 people, or what? I think they'll look at that timeline of how quickly we shut down travel to other countries.
Right.
In the moment, it's like you're panicking. You are panicking. You're like, what the
Yeah.
hell's he doing? What's he waiting for? What? But I think when they lay out that timeline, it'll read much differently than it felt
Right.
with the power of hindsight, But
It's crazy. It's like it feels like almost a year.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's like March, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty much when everything went down.
but how do you answer? Killing 250,000 Americans. It's like, what do you mean? How do I answer? I didn't do it. I didn't spread the virus. I'm not. We're all walking this blind, not knowing what's happening. you realize this is a phone call, right? When I realized what was happening.
Right.
This is I didn't like do this. I didn't take the lid off of this. It's like, so how can you like treat someone that and be so passionate about it as if it's even remotely true? I mean, if the shoe was on the other foot, the person accusing someone of killing someone, it's like, put yourself in their position. It's like, they don't know. He knew as much as anyone else knew.
Right.
When this all came out, I was like, how do you say you have blood on your hands? It's like, that's really nuts.
I think I
It's
figured out a
nuts
long time
thinking.
ago where it's not about the facts. It's about the narrative.
Yeah.
They get the narrative out, and then that's all that matters.
Right.
Nobody cares about the facts, you know.
Right.
But yeah, this the way it's pitched, how
Yeah.
you have that blood on
It's
your
like
hands.
mass
It's
genocide.
do
that
I?
He's like, okay, yes, now take the lid off. And then sprinkle it. And then sprinkle it. Thank you. This is going to be epic. That's how they're treating it. It's like he's like the real Dr. Evil.
twirling his mustache.
I'm more mad at the stuff that happens behind the screens
Yes.
than anything the president ever did. You
Right.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, they're over here trying to pass funding for everything else, and people are arguing. People won't even talk to each other, be in the same room together on the phone.
Right.
You know, and people want to, criticize how fucking Trump handled it.
It's like you're right. It's like they can't stand his every single move. Right?
Right.
So when he ain't doing anything with the world, he's playing golf.
Right.
And then they bust his balls for playing golf. It's like, at least he ain't fucking shit up. At least you know he's playing golf.
Right.
At least he ain't get his thumb on something else. You know what I mean? Wouldn't you encourage him to play golf? At least you know he ain't fucking nothing up.
Yeah.
God. You can't have it both ways, guys. Come on.
Well,
Tuesday's
Really
gonna be
looking
really exciting, man.
really looking forward to Tuesday.
We have a lot of interviews happening, a lot of lots of different point of views, lots of different ethnic groups coming through,
Yeah.
casting their vote, however they see fit. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, we'll have all of your election news. We'll at least be reacting to it live on
Yeah,
air. You know,
the best
so
we can.
yeah, we'll have a feed going, and we'll be commentating on the night. Figure we'll get started about 9. You think,
Yeah.
right? 9 o'clock start. So tune in. Definitely on Facebook Live, and maybe if you're driving or something, we might be on the.
It's
the old
possible we can have a
podcast.
winner by midnight.
It's possible.
It is possible.
We're gonna ride it out.
A silent majority shows up. It's possible.
Yeah.
Well, you at the very latest, you got to. I mean, you got to think if California closes at 8, it's going to be 11 here.
It's gonna be 11. California.
So right.
I hate California.
Any big predictions for the night? Do you think Trump's gonna or Biden's gonna steal a state? Do you think Texas goes blue or Minnesota goes red, like everybody's talking about? Do you think, like, to me, that's the big moment of the night?
I think in 2016, Trump took Pennsylvania. He's going to take it again.
Yeah,
think he'll take
I think he is
That's
too.
a big spot.
I think,
Especially after all the fracking and the.
yeah.
And
I think he did himself under there.
Taking the oil away. It's like, what?
Right.
So there's no way to tell. Like, you win a state, it's just the 20 electoral vote. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way to say how much he won by, right?
You know, I'm not really sure.
Either candidate.
Right.
I'm not really sure.
Oh, you mean
but
like a percentage wise, like how much of a chunk he made up by winning that
yeah,
state?
because so I'm thinking of it like I see the Grudge match with De Niro and Stallone, that old boxing movie where the two old guys fought. Like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this is going to be. There's a lot of shit talking happening right now. I want to see
Right.
somebody get knocked out. I want to, I want to
Okay.
see if listen, I don't want Biden to win, but if he wins, I want him to win big. I want him
Gotcha.
to win big.
you don't want a nail biter?
I'd be okay with it, I guess. I don't know, but
See, if he wins, I don't think he wins big.
He's not going to win.
I said
I don't want him to.
And
I
if
think
he
it's
does-
a
and if he
scarier
does
world.
win, it'll be the following Tuesday, and that to me says scam.
Rigged.
For real.
Yeah. I'm with you.
That's how I feel about it.
Right.
And that's how a lot of people feel about it. Our election is November 3rd. All votes should be tallied midnight, November 3rd.
No excuses.
No excuses.
I'm with you.
And that's
100%.
it.
I'm with
I'll
you.
give you one more day afterwards. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just to be sure it's right. But I
This
can't
shit
imagine,
ain't done by the time I
can't
get
imagine-
home.
I can't imagine a solid week later we're still counting. It's like no.
Something's fishy.
Everyone knows when this shit's due.
Yeah.
Everyone knows when this is due.
Why
And, you know, investigate. Let's just keep. You keep counting. We'll keep counting. How's that? Well, let's just keep counting.
Right.
So now we got 350 million residents in the United States, and now we got 625 million votes. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Right.
At some point, it has to stop.
So with like the huge number of like mail-in ballots and everything now, how does that work? So if like they already like opened them up and tallied them, and then they like release the results.
A lot of
first thing
people have
election
already
day?
voted and been counted. I think.
Yeah, but we
I
don't
really
have
think that,
insight to those
like
numbers,
80
right?
82 million people have actually literally voted and cast their ballot already. So
Right.
about 82 million of our population have already cast their ballot and voted. So,
But
a lot of
is
people
all
do
that
early.
public knowledge, or
Yeah,
does that
yeah.
like get released election day?
No. It's all well, not like who they voted for.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Have they
Like,
actually
what's the
counted them though? Because I thought they were only counting. Like, are they legally allowed to start counting before election day?
Yeah.
I
They
think
are,
they,
okay.
I
Some
think
states
they
vote
count.
early.
I mean, I
them.
hope so. That
Right,
to
but
me,
they
that
just
was-
don't release the
But
results.
they're
I
not
don't
saying
think.
that like 68% of the votes are
Right.
for Biden, or I don't think they do that.
I think what they are saying and what I've been hearing is the voter turnout. So they don't know who you
the
voted
voter
for, but they know
turnout
who you're registered
is up
for.
like
Right.
89% compared to 2016, which is
Wow.
like, it's huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
we really woke up the blacks. You know what I mean? It's nice. We got them out of the bed. Sorry.
Come on, man.
oh
I'm
man.
kidding. No, but the Hispanics, they're out. They're moving. It's nice. The Chinese,
All right, we gotta go. We're gonna get canceled.
the Chinese, they're moving.
Yeah.
I mean, they're off on Mondays anyway.
Okay.
You know they're always closed on Mondays.
Sorry.
All right. Get out and vote, baby. We'll see you on Tuesday live. Get out and vote. This
Regardless of who you're voting for, I mean, it's very important that you get out and vote.
This means you.
Because I don't want to hear 4 more
means
years of this
you.
bullshit, you know, and then you find out you didn't vote. Like, it's, you know, you're
Right.
giving your daughter shit, but it is your duty. It's your duty as an American.
Just, you know, it's she mistakes. I feel like she's been brainwashed by her school and whoever's teaching her and whatever she's following, whatever her social media. It's like there's a real thing that's happening here. It's like it's nothing to do with black and white. It's nothing to do with any of that. It's like, you know, good people, bad cops, whatever. It is what it is. But it's like there's an ownership in people. We all have to take ownership in our own lives. And I think that that's not being taught, because if you understand ownership, then you understand consequences on doing bad shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's just opinion, but we'll see. I don't think anyone's going to take ownership regardless of what happens after Tuesday. So
I think they're gonna be monitoring
It's a real scary time, I think.
Yeah, I think so, too.
unfortunately.
I
I'm
think
just
it could
glad.
be
I'm just glad the commercials will be over. Just for a while.
It's a sketchy situation here,
Yeah.
you know, because I think there are, and again, without giving too much political bullshit, but it's a very sore loser mentality.
Yeah.
Whether, you know, you don't get your way, or you feel like you can throw a temper tantrum to get a reaction, says a lot about a person or a group of people that would be willing to burn their own city down,
Right.
because they're upset, or they're like, that's my 4-year-old. He wanted to have Reese's cups for dinner tonight.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You said no.
I say no, and he fucking flops on the floor and starts kicking his feet. That's what
Right.
he does, you know.
Right.
But if he was 21 and that was, and I'm still telling him,
He
no,
gets
dude,
he gets set at Al Sporting Goods on fire.
right? If I'm like, no, you can't have a Reese's cup, and then he did
It's
that.
exactly
that's
the mentality. You're
it's
right.
fucking crazy, man. So it's tough to side with
And then
that,
there's an entire society who justifies it,
right?
thinking that, you know what? Let them
Yeah,
rebel. It's their way of expressing their feelings. It's like, that is insane.
there's no.
And it was never okay before. Why is it okay now?
right.
I mean, I've been around I ain't been around that long, but I've been around for like 38 years.
Right.
You know what I
It's a
mean?
long time,
And
yeah.
I remember this before.
Right. And so willy-nilly, like what are we, an hour and what from Philly? How far are
Like
we?
an hour.
Like an hour.
An hour if that.
It's on fire. We're burning it down.
Yeah.
We're kicking doors in and looting. Like, this is, about as close to my backyard as I want it to be in.
Right.
And Tuesday is going to be crazy if one side doesn't get their way, I think.
Right.
Or the other side, it's a scary time.
It is.
So I hope everybody's safe. I hope
Yeah, we
everybody
will-
is safe.
We will chronicle. What am I trying to say?
Chronicleize it.
Yes.
Chronicleize it.
There we go. We will chronicle.
We will be watching.
There we go.
All right. We'll be here Tuesday.
Is there any way you can move that camera up higher so it doesn't get much in?
All right. See you. Bye.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.